Hi, I'm Sue. I'm the Holistic Growth Coach, and this week I'm talking about what makes clients rebook with you and how the whole client experience can make a big difference. So, if you're a therapist, you know that getting a new client through the door can sometimes take quite a lot of work before you actually get to the stage where they book with you. They may have found you through Google, they may have seen your social media posts, you may have been recommended by a friend, they've probably been having a look at your website and finally decided to book. And that can sometimes take quite a long time to get to that stage. So, when somebody comes to that first appointment, naturally, you'd like them to come back for a follow-up appointment or for some support. But what actually makes a client rebook? Because sometimes they'll come for one appointment and then they go, and you really don't know, was it something that you did or didn't do? Why is it that clients are acting that way? So this video is about making the most of that appointment and ways in which you can get your client retention and rebooking increased. So it's not about persuading them or trying to be salesy and sell more appointments. Nobody wants that. Very often it's about the experience that you create and how clear you've made the next step. Remember, you're the professional and you're the expert, and sometimes we can feel a bit embarrassed about giving them that next step. So let me go through a few pointers. So there's 5 things I'd like you to have a think about. The first one's about trust. Does the client feel comfortable with you when they come to the appointment? It's all about the way you welcome them, how you make them feel, how well you listen to them, and it's about explaining what you do, answering their questions, and you're building trust through that connection at the first appointment and before the first appointment, but especially when you get face to face with them. And that can be on a Zoom call as well. It doesn't have to be, this isn't just about hands-on therapies. People are much more likely to return to a follow-up appointment with somebody they really feel comfortable with. And to be honest, sometimes, clients don't gel with you or you don't gel with the client, and that's natural. They're not all going to, but it's making the best advantage really of that first appointment. So that's number one. Number one is how the client feels comfortable with you and the trust level. Number two is the results. Well, of course, once it's the client's first appointment, they don't know yet, do they? Because sometimes it can take a while to get results. That doesn't necessarily mean they're looking for a dramatic result after one session, and you do need to manage their expectations. Depending on the therapy we're talking about, progress can take time, but they do need to have a realistic idea of what you're working towards and what realistic progress might look like. So it's about explaining what you're doing and where their expectations are and when they can expect to see results and changes. So number 3 is about the whole client experience. So beyond the actual session where they're with you, this first session, what was the journey like to get there? I don't mean the actual journey, but that might have something to do with it. But was their booking, was it easy for them to book? Did you make it easy for them just to see your website, know where to book, click and be able to book it? Did they know where to go, where to park, what to wear? Did they know what to do when they got there, what to expect? So it's about when they book or on your website, or maybe deliver something with when you confirm the appointment, so they have all that information so they really understand, because some people need that reassurance. Also, did you start your appointment on time or did you keep them waiting? What was the waiting room like, if there is a waiting room, or did they need to wait in the car? Either's fine so long as you explain what it is that they need to expect. Did they feel listened to rather than rushed out? And what about the payment? Was that easy or was that difficult? Make sure if they're to pay in cash, you tell them. If you've got a card machine, tell them. If you want backs payment up front, just make sure they know. It's all these little things, little day-to-day things that are small things on their own, but they contribute to the whole feeling, and they do contribute to whether or not the person comes back. Number 4 is follow up, and this is something that often gets overlooked because I think we can feel uncomfortable about it because it can come over like we might feel we're being a bit pushy. But a thoughtful follow up can be just good client care. So, if it's a physical therapy, for example, you might want to send a reminder about your aftercare instructions, or there might be some exercises. And if it's not physical therapy, it's counselling or talk therapy of some sort, you might want to summarise what you did and what your expectations are. So when I see clients as a coach and a mentor, I will do an after email of what we discussed and what the action plan is for the next appointment. So it's just really, or it might be just checking how they are, a reminder to drink more water, something like that. So it's not about chasing people, it's a big difference between pressure and support, a helpful follow up. So that was number 4. And number 5 is about making the next step clear. Don't assume, because you're doing it all the time, but don't assume your client knows what they're supposed to do next. Don't leave it for them to suggest they come back. If you believe another appointment would be helpful to them, tell them. You can explain why, you can give an idea of when you'd suggest coming back, like I'd like to see you next week, I'd like to see you in a month. Give an idea and let them know how to book. You might want to book then. That's probably the best thing. If you've got your diary, get them in there and then. They're completely free to decide what they want to do. They might want to say, well, look, no, I'm going to leave it and I'll get in touch with you later. That's fine as well. You're just giving them all the information to know what they need to do and what would be the best for them, depending on what therapy it is you're offering. So if you're getting new clients coming through the door, but not many of them are returning, have a look at that client journey from their point of view. Do they feel supported? Do they understand the value of what you're offering and the expectations from the treatment? And do they know what the next step is? Because sometimes improving those things can make a much bigger difference to your rebooking rate than constantly trying to find new clients. If you'd like me to give you some help and suggestions, you can book a free 30-minute chat with me or have a look at my free resources because I've got lots of information there that you might find helpful. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.